I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded today. Also pay respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to any other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be listening today. This is Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast designed to give an insightful look into the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. All right, welcome back. This is Melanated in Melbourne. I am Richard.
And I'm Nicole.
And once again, we are back to give you the highs and lows and the ins and outs of being melanated in Melbourne.
Melanated in Melbourne.
As I mentioned, I've told Nicole this a bunch of times. Again, thank you all for the ridiculously great reviews.
Oh, yes, so thank you, everybody. I cannot believe we have more than 2 people who have listened to this. It's exciting.
We're about to hit 200. We're actually about to hit 200.
We're
listeners.
about to hit 200.
So, do a hair flip. What if we look back and we're like super famous and like on episode 3 talking about like we have 200 listeners, hair flip.
Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I'm ecstatic.
Also, we have to shout out to my very good friend Kyle, who designed our
oh yes,
is it artwork?
Yes, our kind of logo.
Yes,
yeah, our logo.
That's like logo artwork, little silhouettes of us having a good time during lockdown. That is now like the logo of Melanated Melbourne. So
that's the one. Shouts to Kyle. Thank you, Boo.
Absolutely the best.
Because I gave quite a few notes on how to get my fro right, and it was a labor of love. And he was really patient, and I really appreciate that.
And with the time zones as well, because Kyle is in the States while we are clearly in Melbourne. So the time zones, and it was just like, I'll try this, and just like absolutely one of a kind, absolute legend.
Literally so nice, because it was, I do think Kyle may be a bit of a vampire.
I mean, I can't confirm. I don't think I've ever seen him age properly. So.
Oh my gosh, there you go. That's your proof right there. I mean, who's the second person you wanted to thank?
Oh, no. I was thinking Kyle, but I was also saying that within the reviews, everyone wanted Nicole to sing more.
Oh, that's cute.
And yet, well, you did give us a little...
That's cute.
Little intro riff.
I did.
What songs did you write for us today?
What song did I write?
Yes.
Well, now that I know that this is going to turn into whose line is it anyway, I will bring a ukulele. I don't know how to play it, but I'll bring it.
Are you going to smash it anytime you lose a point?
Oh my God, smashing the ukulele, no.
I mean, the points mean nothing, but winning is still everything.
The winning is still everything. Like, must win.
These points are imaginary, but I got the most of them. So
I know, that's right.
And that's why I didn't tell you what my topic's going to be today.
Oh, I love this. So today's episode, I was going to say, if you would like to pull up an Australian word that you don't think that I know.
I don't know how to find those.
Okay.
Like, weird Australian word.
If you legitimately type in Australian slang, the possibilities are endless.
But I think maybe we should do Australian slang that we've heard. Because if we haven't heard, like if it's on the internet, but if people don't actually say it, like fair dinkum. Okay. I've never ever heard someone say.
I have legitimately never heard anybody say that in real life.
Yeah.
Like never. I don't know. Maybe it's a New South Wales thing.
Why would you pick, of all things, probably South Australia?
Like it's just somewhere that, I don't know. It sounds like something happy people say, and I just don't.
So you think people in New South Wales are happier than us?
I think Melbourne is like, I think it's a grumpy place. I do. I think it's like New York. Listen, it's just
keeping this in. I don't know where it's going, but it's staying in the podcast.
It's like New York. Those are like where the grumpy people are. They're rude. They have no time for things. They're more likely to lack patience. Whereas, like, you think of California as the happy people.
I would disagree with you on that.
Oh.
People in like New South Wales, I think they're very much like, we need to be career driven. They are LA, not California, like cruisy beach cute. Like, who are you? Who do you know? Where can you get me?
Totally.
So they have no patience for you in that aspect. When I'm here, when I'm lost by strangers, like, I could stop my day and show you around. Yeah. So I would say New South Wales is grumpier than anyone else.
You think New South Wales is
especially
grumpy?
after their lockout laws, when they couldn't have shots after a certain hour, when they got kicked out of a bar. That was a good maybe a decade of just misery.
That's pretty good.
So I'm going to say that they're the grumpy state.
That is absolutely fair then.
But I'm biased because I picked the best one.
Okay, let's see. Would you know what? No, that one's pretty. I haven't really heard this one out in the wild. So, someone would be described as a larrikin.
That sounds like a monkey. I don't think that's real. I think you just threw some letters together. You're just making sounds.
I swear, I didn't make this up. This is a term that they use. Feel free to take a stab at it.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Wow, look at that larrikin.
Wow.
Okay, Kristen is such a larrikin.
Does that mean she's bad at planning things?
No. Kristen, he didn't mean that. You're great at planning things. Okay, she's not. Or our girl Waddle is such a larrikin.
Is this a black woman? I don't
know. No, I'm trying to use people that you know to help you.
But you're just like, so-and-so is such a this. And that's the end of the sentence. I'm like, okay.
Maybe think of their personality. Maybe that.
Extrovert?
Okay, so a larrikin is someone who's always up for a laugh or a bit of a harmless prankster.
Wait, where did you get this word from?
I swear, it's right here.
Okay, well, I love that. I will absolutely forget it.
Definitely. It's again one of those words that I have like never
ever
heard of. Oh, but you've heard this phrase. Oh, it's a piece of piss.
Yeah, it's easy.
It's easy. Correct. That's
but if you're taking the piss.
But if you're taking the piss, that's different.
Yes. Same word, different meaning.
Same word, different meaning.
You're fucking with me, right? Like
you're fucking with me. You're taking the piss. Or if you say, like, get on the piss or jump on the piss.
That means you're drinking beer. Drinking the burrs.
So a lot of.
Get on the beers.
Piss.
There's a lot of piss play.
A lot of piss. Rain on me, rain on me.
Should we just have a button that reminds everyone there's no kids allowed?
There's no kids allowed. No kids. Take them home. Don't bring them around here.
That's a long applause. I feel like we should not use these buttons.
Why?
You know how long we just sat there in silence waiting for the applause to end?
First of all, I was giving shouts over the applause. Thank you for not bringing your kids. Thank you for the reminder.
Yes.
But please, audience, keep your applause short.
Boo.
Is there? Oh, no.
This is why we should.
Oh, no, that wasn't it. Wait. That was the one. Oh, that was the one. That's the one I meant. That's the one I meant, not the Twilight Zone.
Yes. gonna. I don't know where this is gonna go.
It's great. It's great. Welcome to our chaotic episode.
Yes, this is the Be Real. Like, be real. Be fucking for real.
Be effing for real. Oh, I do love that one. Would you like to ask me one? See if I know.
Oh, we're still doing the...
If you would like to. If you would like to. If you would like not to.
I didn't look up any of the... All right, so we're looking for one that you have not heard. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of them, so...
Let's see. There's actually quite a few that I actually do know. Okay, I got one for you, and I've never heard it in my life.
Oh, boy. Let's do it.
Rip Snorter.
Oh, rip snorting good time? That just means, like, I don't know, is it... fun? Is it rough? Is it robust?
No. It's not. Would you like to have another guess?
Rip snorting good time. I mean, like, it sounds like something Pecos Bill would say. It sounds like something like a cowboy would say.
Pecos Bill.
Pecos Bill. Bringing it back.
Yeah, you did that.
Bringing it back.
So a rip snorter, for anyone that's asking, is someone playing a good game of sport.
Oh, it's sports related. No wonder I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I'm like, I know of sport. I took the S off, and that's as much as you're getting from me.
Yeah.
We sport. We like sport.
Sport. Good sport. Okay, rip snorting. Well, I could have thought of something else.
Rip snorter, not rip snorting.
Oh, rip snorter, because I was like, snorting.
I figured you, that's why I picked it, because I figured you were going to go nose goes.
That's where I thought. I'm like,
and I was like, it's recording, so go ahead.
Pretty much, you know
go
what? But listen, we may have to do an After the Dark episode.
We'll start a Patreon.
Because there are certainly Australians that we've come across who do love a rip snorting good time. But that's their business. And not mine.
A rip snorting good time.
A rip snorting good time.
But you're not going to clarify on that, of course.
Not at all.
No.
Use your imagination, kids.
What kids?
None of them. No kids.
Oh my God. I do wish these buttons would turn off. So we have a... What would you even call this pad? A track? It's not a track pad.
I mean, it's like, it's like the sound effects pad.
A little soundboard, I guess.
It's a soundboard.
And I cursed the day that we realized that it was still here.
I love it. I can't wait to figure out how to record my own sounds on it.
How to record.
So the theme of today's episode are culture shocks, because that was the number one question that we got from others when we asked, what would you guys like for us to discuss on the podcast? And it was always like, what was the most surprising thing you came across when you moved to Melbourne or moved to Australia? Like, what kind of things shocked you about the culture?
Oh, there it is. I like, in my head, I have like a mental counter of how long it takes you to do your Australian accent. This is the quickest you've done it yet.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to get that, you know.
Personal best.
That fire, right off the blocks, just straight out the gate, mate.
And if you haven't guessed, Nicole's an actress, so hire her for everything.
Why, thank you.
She can do accents.
I can.
Who is this?
I don't know. That was the breathy accent. She got asthma. That's what that one was.
Oh, I love that. Nicole has the range. I can just go deep and sultry and just whisper into your soul.
Ooh, you can go deep. Ow.
Look at you, just ruined my entire moment. I was making love to the microphone, and you were like, "Y'all need any snacks? Anything?
Like,
Condoms? God, you keep me young.
You keep me young. Exactly.
Absolutely ruined.
I'm going to be here to ruin moments, or just say what we're all thinking.
No one was thinking that.
No one was thinking that. You were thinking it.
Yeah, but you said it.
Yeah, I know. All right, I'm sorry. I'll be good now.
Be good? What do you mean? You're leading us.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, here we go. So it is the Culture Shock episode of Melanated in Melbourne. Let's get started.
Did you forget who we were?
I forgot what we were doing for 2 seconds because my mind is like a blank slate. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch. Like, it'll draw something up, but then you start to shake it a little bit. You're like, what was I drawing?
And by shaking, I mean you just get really excited and dancing.
Get really excited.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, for me, one of the culture shocks that I experienced when moving here is because I've met a lot of Australians abroad. Met them in different parts of the world, and they always seem to have a lovely time and a zest for life. And then when we ended up moving here into their own backyard, that party spirit is different at home.
How so?
They just have a really good time. They just have a really good time, and it feels like it's no holds barred here. But what I was really, 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 really surprised about was how much alcohol costs here.
Yes. No, that's probably the worst thing. Like,
it was very surprising because they're, happy to drink on holiday and vacation and everything, and then you come here and it's just like expensive.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna I'm trying to look up conversion rates for.
Oh,
for a
good.
liquor
No, because
example.
we gonna need some math today. Even though I don't really see it for her, but we're gonna need a little bit of math today
you're
to
not
help
the
us
mathers,
out.
but I got you on the math.
Yes, please do. We need to
speak your truths. I'll probably have some thingies for you by then.
Great, cool. Because I guess that's the reason why Australians have such a good time on holiday, is because literally everywhere else you go, the alcohol prices are a lot lower. Whereas like here, it's astronomical. Because I would say like a 6-pack of beer in the States is like what?
Ooh, what brand is it? Are you just like?
I mean, like Budweiser.
Oh, like $12?
$12. $2 a beer, right?
It's really low.
Something really cute, if you're trying to get drunk in your trailer park. But like,
you say drunk in your trailer park.
But I'm gonna go
It's like the tacos all over again.
This is the tacos. I'm just offending everybody. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So let's go to a 6-pack of beer. I'm using danmurphys.com, which is what was I going to say? Retail beer place. That doesn't make any sense.
It's high-end beer.
It's high-end beer. It's not really. It's just like the liquor store here. Or, little side note here, they call them bottle-os. That's what they call their liquor stores here.
I love the accents. They're just dancing today.
Yeah, I don't know what they are. I don't know what that was. That one felt like, I don't know.
It feels like I'm just like recording this episode with the character from Split. It's like, who are we talking to right now? That wasn't me. That was Patricia.
It was Patricia. I think that one was like Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. And Mary Poppins says I live and breathe. We're going to go down to the bottle-o. I don't know. Step in time.
Did you find your
top in the bag? Okay, yes. Okay, I found the beers. So as opposed to like a $12 pack of beer in the States, reasonable. Yeah, a pack of beer here is going to run you just about $25.
Yeah.
Maybe even 30.
And that's for pre's.
And that's for that's for
your pregame. And for
not the best. Oh, here's a six pack of beer, $60.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, the import taxes are going to ruin absolutely everything. And
Truly.
for our liquor drinkers, Smirnoff vodka, it's low, it's trash in America. Like, it is.
Oh.
Smirnoff, no one is like, hey, give me some Smirnoff.
my God.
They're having the Grey Goose. They're
College Nicole is in the background being like, but wait.
But College Nicole was also broke.
Oh
So
my gosh, okay, true.
if you were drinking that in college, it's because you were broke, and that's okay. Like, in America, there's vodka, you can't even pronounce. It's like, Dostoevsky.
Oh,
like
no,
2
wait a minute.
cents.
First of all, what you just call me?
You heard me. I said broke bitch in Russian. So that kind of vodka costs like $3 and a dream, and you put it in your punch, and that's the thing. But
That was it.
Smirnoff was like, it's kind of okay, but in America it's like $20 a bottle. If you try to buy a 750 milliliter bottle of Smirnoff here, it's going to cost you $50
At least.
and if it's on sale, it'd be like 43.
43.
So
if
like,
that.
and that's the standard. Like, that is the base. Like, there is no off-brand vodka here because import taxes are so ridiculous. They're just like name brand only.
Crazy.
So the cost of alcohol is absolutely through the roof.
Through the roof.
Which I think is really interesting because, like, when you said they like to have a good time when they go out, I think they still have a good time going out here because
Totally.
money doesn't really mean as much to us. It's like, fuck it. What's wrong? What happened?
Sorry, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I'm looking at this bottle. This Smirnoff bottle is like $67.
I told you.
Like $70.
I was not playing. And
then the little handler one is like 35, like that.
And even when you put the conversion rates on that, because I had the currency thing on.
Yeah.
You said 65?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 65 Australian dollars is about 43 US dollars.
Child.
And
what?
like, yes, they don't have the tax
Go
and
ahead.
things.
Keep your
the currency.
Please keep your calculator open because now I found a 24 case, what they would call a slab. Boom. See, we know that.
Yes, we do know slab of beer.
So a slab of beer, 24 cans of. Okay, this is probably going to be considered a mixed drink though.
Which one are you looking at?
Like, it's like a pre-mixed tinny. It's a Smirnoff.
Okay. Are you going to say the dollar amount? Because you told me to hold this app open.
I don't know, because now I'm wanting to play The Price is Right. What would you think the price is going to be?
Of Smirnoff Ice?
Of 24 case of canned Smirnoff Ice.
That's at least $90.
Wow, you were close. It is $105 for a case of 24 Smirnoff Ices.
Yes, and for
which
people,
is
like,
just
in my college days, we would ice people, and there's no way I was spending that kind of money to give someone free alcohol.
Free alcohol? Oh, my God.
This cost me $5 each.
Insane. And apparently that's a deal.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a deal because the non-member prices is $112.
Well, right. I think those are just, they mark it up just to make you get the membership so they can track you. Realistically, they're like, oh, this is doing well. We should stock more of these. This is not selling well. We need to put it on sale, kind of thing. But so, like, I think those regularly sold at prices are just made up. Personally.
They're totally made up.
But on the Smirnoff Ice conversion rate, because I still have the calculator open, that's $70. So you're paying $70 for a 24-pack of Smirnoff Ice. And on that note, like, despite the fact it's so expensive, people are so free and generous with their money because the minimum wage is so high, or like their quality of life is just so easy that they'll go out and spend hundreds of dollars. Like, no, it's my shout. Let me just get everyone's drinks, and they spend like $200 in a round because a vodka orange juice is like $13 right now. Yeah, and that's a standard price. If it's on happy hour, maybe get it like $8, $9. There are some places, like, obviously, like, actually really funny. I'm going to say this and someone will be like, I went to a place once and I got a $3 vodka soda.
We're already getting people who are trying to rebuttal our experiences here. The word of the day is opinions.
Opinions.
Opinions. Because I didn't want to spell the rest.
I thought you were about to try to spell it.
I did not want to spell the rest.
What was the word you tried to spell? Pneumonia. You tried to spell pneumonia.
No, we're not going to do this. We are not going to do this because you keep trying to turn this into the National Spelling Bee, and I won't allow it.
I am not trying to do it. You were like, opinions. Oh? you did the spelling bee tone. Opinions.
Inions, yeah. O-P Inions. Opinions. But you were saying, sorry.
I don't remember now.
No. Okay, no.
Yes.
We were talking about how generous people are with buying drinks for other people.
Yes. So that was one of the things that I was not used to. So if I go out on a night out in America, I usually go with my friends, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just go out. Like, one, if a stranger tried to buy me a drink, I wouldn't take it because there's probably drugs in it or they're trying to murder me.
Very
but
likely.
in general, why are you giving away free stuff? Like, that's the American mentality. So I was super hesitant when I got here. But I kid you not, being here, people are just like, at least in my experience, they just want to talk to more, like, they want to talk to us.
Totally.
Specifically us. Like,
Specifically.
I have met plenty of people who have told me I'm the first Black person they've ever met, like Black American Black. Not like, obviously they've met like Aboriginal people, they've met Africans, like properly African people, but they're like, oh yeah, I've never met an American before. And they're just curious. Sometimes it does walk into that casual racism area, and we will get onto that another place. But as a general whole, it's just the curiosity. Like when I first got here, I think I mentioned previously, I did like a week per city. And having never traveled alone, I was like, I'm going to push myself and challenge myself to do a thing. So I would have a shot or two by myself, and I'm like, I will talk to one person. I will talk to one stranger. I'll do whatever. But every time I did that one stranger became like 10, and I would go home drunk. And I spent like $30. And $30 as in like 2 or 3 drinks. And then I was like, yep, that is it. Because people were like, oh. Like, even if they're not flirting with you, they're just like, yeah, just tell me more about yourself. What are you drinking? I'll get you another one. But in America, if I meet a stranger, I'm like, why are you still talking to me? Like, please go away. Like, I'm not buying you anything. I don't really want to like get to know your life story because
it's a cult. It's most likely a cult. They're like they try to get you into their
and it's like, oh, you have free candy? You want me to go in that van?
Yeah,
that one over there.
Totally.
Yeah. All right, you gave me candy. I don't see what's wrong with this, but no, absolutely. I think they're maybe like overly friendly in that aspect, considering how expensive these things are. Like, I really have to like you to buy you some stuff. Like, I haven't bought into that yet because I'm like, why spend mine when I can spend yours? But
disagree, and it's true, and I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry. That was
I set you up for it.
Lady Mama Lot. All right, but yeah, actually, that was my second culture shock: is how willing people are to have like a conversation with you and like want to get to know you. They love a chat. Aussies love a chat.
Absolutely,
they want to know.
Well,
they want to know about you.
I would definitely have to say I agree with that, but I think you get the chats more often than I do. Like you remember on the way to Lily's party?
Oh my gosh, yes.
And you decided to be a good person?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my goodness. See, the reason why I've been working on my Australian accent is so I can just cloak in public and nobody will be the wiser. Because as soon as I open my mouth and then they hear I'm American, like, I might as well just tell the story.
Yes.
We were on our way to our friend's housewarming party. Shout out to Lily. We love you.
Love you, Lily.
Love you, Lily. And here in Melbourne, they have a lot of trams, and that's how you get around.
Streetcars.
Like streetcars, the San Francisco treat. And I was on the tram heading to a friend's place. The tram stops, and a young woman with a walker is trying to get on the tram. She was like, oh, can somebody help me? And I'm like, oh, girl, I got you. This is what the sisterhood is all about. So I make sure that we hold the doors open, grab her bag so she's able to get up on the tram herself. She's like, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, it's no worries whatsoever. And she's like, oh, are you American? And I was like, yeah, I am. Oh, my gosh. What part of America are you from? And I'm like, oh, from the East Coast, from New Jersey. And then I'm like kind of starting to do the motion of putting my other earbud back in just because, although I do like meeting people, it's just sometimes when I'm in like the commute phase of my day, I take that as a time of reflection.
Yeah, and Nicole is significantly nicer than I am because in that situation, if someone is asking for help and I'm sitting at this distance,
don't do this, Rashard.
Am I not allowed to speak my truth?
You are allowed to speak.
I'm gonna speak my truth. So if someone's asking for help, yeah, I will help them, and then I will be done. It's like, oh, hey, you're in this situation. I can help you out. And it's like, oh, no worries. I'm like, yep, all good. Headphones in. I will not linger on a conversation. I'll be like, yep, there you go. Thanks. Earphones back in. Phone out. I will fake a phone call. Like
phone call.
If I hear someone, like,
I gotta get this.
And I was like, oh my God, is that holding my phone upside down and backwards? I'm like, sorry. Oh my God, girl, what's up?
Screen facing outside.
I 1000% will not entertain, especially in those, because like a lot of the times I have to be on in public, because again, still an introvert. But if I'm in public, I feel like I have to be on. I have to get ready to have those conversations. But if I am confronted with a conversation I didn't want, like I was on the way to that housewarming party, and we only knew Lily, so I was like, I know I'm gonna have to talk to people that I don't know. Yeah. So I'm saving my energy. So if that was me, I'm like, sorry, I don't have capacity for you.
Yeah, I know it was like, and but I just have I am a sufferer of the disease to please. I feel
Nicole loves
I'm a people pleaser. It is something I'm working on. And yeah, just like, not that it was bad, but I was just like, ended up getting into a conversation, more questions of like, what are you doing here? What do you do for work? Like, where are you traveling to now? And I ended up having like a spontaneous interview on the tram when I'm really actually just trying to listen to Renaissance. And then because I was talking so
unique.
See, that's the button we need. That's the button we need.
We would get sued so quickly.
You sued?
You broke?
Oh, God, oh, no. Oh, no. But, yeah, back to it. Because I was projecting so loudly. I can't help it. I'm loud. And
her mic is so much further from her mouth
so
than
much
mine
further.
is. And like I know we're gonna play this back, and he's
so
gonna
much
sound
further,
louder than
and
me.
I'm still just loud. And I'm just a loud person. Like I can't help it. I'm just like whispering. I don't know her, and because I'm like projecting and just like trying to speak to this person and trying to answer as many questions that are being like thrown at me each second, somebody else is like, "Hey, I'm American too." Like somebody else on the trip. Where are you from? And I'm like, no.
Someone else comes out of the ceiling like, "Oh, Jersey, me too."
Oh God! And because of this, I jumped off the tram early. I was so far away from my stop, but I was just like, I can't answer any more questions. I can't. My social anxiety. It was too much. I jumped off the tram.
To be a fly on the wall. And I'm like, because Nicole was texting me as this was happening, because we're going to the same party. Like, I'm like one tram behind her.
Yeah. Yes, quite literally.
And I'm just like, no, I would have gotten off. I was like, run. Put your head down. Fake a phone call. Play dead. Just do something else.
Legitimately.
But no, I would have to agree with that. And like that kind of is a very similar reason to one of the things like the friendliness. The amount of questions I've gotten about America, about like being in America, especially around the Cheeto times.
Around the
Cheeto times, that was just so exhausting. It was like, oh wow, it's so crazy over there in America, isn't it? And I'm like, I wouldn't know. I'm not there.
Yeah, for sure. Especially around presidential elections. It is like you have signed up to go on CNN because, baby, they are going to ask you all of the questions. They're going to ask you everything. And I think we've all, like, as Americans, I'm going to speak for us for a second. We have entered a stage of political exhaustion.
Absolutely.
It used to be like things would get political, you know, every 4 or 2 years, depending on how involved you are with, like, voting. Mm-hmm. And it used to be like it would come out for a little bit and things would get spicy, but then it would get tucked back in. And things would go back to normal and, you know, for better or for worse. But now, ever since, again, the Cheeto, everything is just 24/7 politics.
Oh, 1,000%.
And it is just, it's an exhausting thing. It's a very exhausting thing. So when you're in a different country and you're having somebody being like, can you speak for everyone now, the entire country that you're from, and explain to me, like, within the next, 5 minutes, why this is such a problem, like the guns and everything. And I'm just like, oh, girl, I just don't have the emotional bandwidth to get into this with you.
Yeah, and that's my favorite thing is Google it. No, like at a certain point, I would just like Google it. Because like I had been there for like 3 or so years.
Yeah.
And I think around the height of like the George Floyd protests and everything, I was working for the government.
Oh, my God, especially then. Yeah,
so it was just like everyone's like, oh, my God, this thing happened. And I'm just like, it sure did. And they're like, what happening was, I can't believe this. I'm like, I am not in charge there or here. And they were just like, but you're American. I'm like, yes. Yeah. That was the one thing. And I know they meant well. But impact versus intent are very important here. And I would just say Google it, because when I didn't have when I didn't have the time for it, like I don't have the time today, Google it.
Yeah, like I don't have, you know what I mean? And again, understand that they're trying to come from a place of understanding and reaching out, but it's emotional labor. Yeah. Having to educate you on something and I'm not being paid for it, and it's something that affects me deeply emotionally, and then I have to turn into Gracie Lou Freebush like in the Miss America pageant and just have to explain things like
without getting emotional as well.
Without getting emotional and without getting too animated, and it's just or defensive, and it's just like, and then they're always going to counteract with their not knowing ass.
Like, well, I think this is how you fix everything.
It didn't. What's his face have like emails on his computer too or something like that? And I'm just like, oh my God, yes. Enough.
Yeah, I would say that was probably like one of the biggest things, like being here and just being the spokesperson for all Black people, for all of America, at any time, any given place for the last few years.
But that was also really confusing because, again, understand this is from a place of understanding and appreciation and just wanting to know. But these people know more about our politics than they know about their own.
Yes. Also the same thing like for theirs. Like I think a lot of people know like there's globalization, but I think it's really Americanization.
Americanization.
Like America being like a quote unquote superpower. I'm doing quote unquote because It's a developing country with a Gucci belt. Because like I don't like third world country because that just feels problematic.
It feels rude.
But the expression was like third world country with a Gucci belt, and it's just like
Totally.
America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave, whatever that whole expression is. But people are forced to learn about our culture and about
whether they want to or not.
Because it affects the world, but the same thing can't be said for here. So it's like
Definitely not.
They would tell me things I didn't know about America sometimes, and I'm like,
yeah,
we did what? When did that happen?
No, because you know what was killing me? Because when I moved here in 2018, they were changing prime ministers. They were getting rid of their whole president.
Yes.
As an equivalent. It's not exactly that here, but essentially they were changing presidents. Like they got rid of the one they had, bringing in a new one. And nobody was really talking about it. It wasn't even buzzed about or anything like that. Like
it was just so commonplace. There was a joke going around at the time where it's like if someone got a concussion, they stopped asking who the prime minister was because sometimes you didn't know. Like you would just get someone who's in power for like 3 weeks, and you may not have a concussion. You may just not be in the loop for the day.
Oh my gosh!
And like that was hilarious to me. So like the most recent prime minister before this was the longest serving since. I think it could be Kevin Rudd. Let me just.
Oh, child, who knows? Don't even.
But he was only in for like a couple of years. Like he served a full term, I think.
That was it. But people here, I mean, like, granted, there are people who are more outspoken and things like that. But when it comes to like the government and the way things function here, it's just very chill. Mm-hmm. It's just very chill. It's not very like the conversations aren't necessarily politicized. But I think we should move on from the topic of politics.
I was about to talk about food.
I'm happy to talk about food. What you got?
So for me, I think the biggest positive, I guess not positive, like all the culture shocks are just different, but the food itself. Because like in the episode with Kristen, she mentioned that she had gone back to America and gained like 40 pounds, which is like, I can't do that in kilos, maybe like roughly 20 kilos.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Now you're stealing my catchphrases. You owe me $5.
Oh, no. I ain't got it.
We know. But so I think that's one of the biggest things I noticed. Like, when I was living in America, I was just eating out, having beers, drinking whatever, and I didn't realize that I was just holding on to just casual weight. That was my resting state. I came here, ate the same amount of food that I thought was equivalent items of things, and I lost a good 20 pounds.
Oh my God, that's so
just
infuriating.
Naturally. It just fell off. And every time I went to go home to visit, I put it back on. She's like, oh yeah. And I was only home for 2 or so weeks. And that week was like, hey, we missed you. Hug. Oh, I'm not letting go. We're holding on forever. Like we're in this together. So one of my favorite drunk foods in the entire world in America was Taco Bell.
Oh yeah.
We know it's not good. We know it's not good. We know it's not good for you.
We know it's not real Mexican food.
We know it's not even real meat half the time. But when it's 2, 3 a.m. and you're like, damn, I'm hungry, you go to Taco Bell.
You hear that bell.
You get diarrhea and you go to sleep.
Oh no, not in that.
Is it a lie? I mean, I guess sometimes you might be able to go to sleep first.
I can only speak for my own.
You might be able to sleep first, but it's going to get you regardless.
Okay.
However, you do it because you know what it is. But a year or two ago, Taco Bell opened up here.
Yes.
And there's one in South Yard, which is like 3 kilometers from the city.
Yeah, not too bad.
I went there to check it out. It was decent, but it was very weird for me because the steak was actually steak.
It was actually steak. And
the prices, after conversion rates, they were pretty similar. Like, it wasn't dirt cheap Taco Bell, but I'm like, my stomach feels fine.
Yeah.
Like, this is quality meat. I don't
have meat cramps.
What's happening here? The meat sweats haven't started.
Meat sweats.
And it was just like, I feel that way about all the food. Like I don't really eat bread because like carbs are just like, they just fill me up so quickly. But one person pointed out how sweet our bread is in America.
Oh my God, it's
like this classifies as a cake. Like if you read the ingredients of American bread, it's just so sweet. It's technically a cake.
Yeah.
But here it's just like, it's just bread. I'm like, why is this bread so, like when I got it, I'm like, it just tastes off. And I'm like, oh. That's the sugar that we have in everything. There's sugar in the water.
There's sugar in everything. Correct.
Sugar in the water.
There's sugar.
But I would say that the healthiness of the food, like price, we can go into the price another time. But I think that for me was the biggest thing.
Without a doubt, it's like the freshness of the food here. Like I even remember the very first time I had McDonald's here. We were coming back from Healesville Sanctuary, which is a really, really dope zoo. We were like, oh, we'll just grab a little something to eat before our travels home. We swing by a McDonald's, which they call Macca's, M-A-C-C-A. Swung by a Macca's, got a little double cheeseburger action, and I almost wept into this cheeseburger because I
Tell me your lowest without telling me your lowest.
Listen, okay, dude, first of all, we're talking about, like, It was so good. It was fresh. I was like, what? Is this what they're supposed to taste like? Granted, the bar is really, really low.
Yes.
The bar is really, really low.
The bar is on the ground.
The bar is in hell.
It.
It's like it's down. It's down there with Beelzebub. And I could not believe this friggin' cheeseburger was so good. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, it's so fresh. It actually tastes like beef. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't fathom. And then the Aussies I was in the car with were just like, yeah, that's normal. Yeah. That's standard. Food standard here is so high.
It is so high. And like, I love that. I love that for us. I love that for them.
Totally.
Like, again, one of the reasons I'm like, you should run. Like, there will always be, it's a scale of like goods and bad, but I think the scale overall still tips positive for me.
Absolutely.
And it's like things like this, things like vacation time, like that is my favorite thing. So the job that I left before coming here, I worked in programming, so I worked a lot of nights and weekends. I would get like time in lieu that days would stack up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've got like 3 weeks of vacation because I did all these extra events. I would volunteer to do events to get more time, but here that's just the baseline, and people are always on vacation. Like I'll blink and my coworker's like, when did you get to Jerusalem? What's going on here? Jerusalem's like, oh yeah, I was going to go to Ibiza, but you know, I got to get back to work. I'm like, do you do your own job? Because I swear there are people who are consistently vacationing. Like 4 weeks, most places is the minimum. And between that and the minimum wage being, I think, $23.
Yeah.
And then it goes up based on like your experience and your age and things like that. Like the quality of life is ridiculous. So people are always in Bali, realistically. Like always. Jerusalem is not happening, but Bali is always. Like you blink and someone's in Bali. It's like, oh, let's just go to Bali for a hot second. And it's like, I never imagined being so financially comfortable in almost the exact same position that I was in. Like I have a master's degree. The work that I do, it's comparable to what I was doing in the States, but I just make more money doing it and have a better quality of life. And now that I'm almost a citizen, the universal healthcare being a thing, I'm like, oh, let me just go to the dentist. And like, you get private insurance. So that's something you have to have for everywhere in America. Yeah. But here it's just like, if you are a permanent resident or a citizen, you get Medicare. And I can go to the doctor for $90. And then by the end of the day, I get like half of that back into my account instantly. There's no standing outside it. You don't have to like chase someone down to get your money back.
Sure
like,
don't.
I'm feeling sick. I just go to the doctor. And
very easily.
Instead of like, oh, my shoulder's been kind of twingy for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
I'll wait till my arm falls off to get it checked out. Like that's the American mentality.
That is the American mentality. I was just explaining to somebody yesterday, like, actually, you know, I want to go back to this holiday thing. I remember meeting Australians on holiday, especially when I was traveling in Europe, and them being like, oh, yeah. It's like, I've been on holiday for the past month. And I still have 2 months left. They've stacked it.
Yes.
They've stacked their vacation time where they get months off of work.
Oh, they must have been doing long service leave, which is a thing that I've never heard of until I got here.
It's insane.
Have you heard of long service leave? Are you familiar with it?
I guess it's just when you're able to leave for a little bit, but your job is secure.
Yeah, so essentially long service leave is when you work in a particular industry or typically company for 5 to 7 years, they basically bank extra time for you. So after 7 years of being in a role, you get an extra 6 to 7 weeks. I think it's like a week per year you served of paid leave on top of the 4 weeks you already get. So people can serve for 7 years and also save up their leave for that year and be gone for a good 6 months and still be getting paid and just come back to it
and come back to their job.
And I'm halfway there. So like when I say I'm not coming back to America, like that's like the number one reason. I'm halfway to my free 7 weeks in Ibiza.
Totally.
I want to be that person. I want to be like, you've got 3 days here?
For real.
Crazy.
I know.
I need that for jet lag.
At least. I need that buffer. It also just takes a shit ton of time to fly anywhere from Australia. It's just so far. If Australia was any further away, it would be on the moon. Yeah. Literally. It would be on a different planet. I
saw somewhere that based on like location, Perth is one of the most, if not the most isolated city in the world.
Yeah, I heard that as well. Yeah.
I'm going to have to, someone can fact check that because I don't want to Google it.
Yeah.
Google it.
No, I heard it on a YouTube video. But yeah, I heard that as well because it's like you would have to fly into the east coast of Australia and then fly west coast to Perth.
Yep.
So, but not everybody's flying to Perth.
No.
Not everybody's flying to Perth.
Almost no one's flying to Perth.
I'm not flying to Perth.
I've lived in Perth. I've lived in Perth for a hot second, and look, I shout out to my girlies in Perth because they are listening in waves. Like our second most listened state is WA. So shout out to y'all.
What if Jade is listening? Just in case she is, shout out to Jade.
Shout out, shout him out,
shout him out.
Shout out to moms. I don't know. We don't have a contact.
I know we haven't had a mom
just in
moment
case,
yet.
I just got scared. I don't want to miss it.
Yet.
But no, Perth is so far away, and because like. Even if you were coming from the east, you'd have to be flying from Africa or straight down. Like I think there's a nonstop flight from Perth to London, but that's also one of the longest flights in the world.
Oh,
so
no, thanks.
It's just like
any guesstimate on how long it must be 24. That's too crazy.
I want to say it's 1819.
1819
Perth
on a plane
to London.
Child, just have an anesthesiologist on board. Just put me to sleep.
17 hours and 20 minutes. I was close.
No, ma'am.
I am a professional sleeper. That's actually on my resume.
Wow.
I can get on a plane, close my eyes, and just be out before the wheels take off. Like
superpower.
And I'll just be boop, and I'll wake up, and I'll wake up for the food. I can smell it. You know, like those cartoons where you can see the clouds are floating around like that, and it's like just like little kiss on the nose, like wake up, the food is here.
Oh my gosh.
And I will wake up because the food is coming. I will eat. And I'm like, oh, that was food. And then I will go back to sleep.
Oh my gosh.
My legs will not exist after the plane because I don't get up and walk around like everyone else does or should.
I wish.
But a 17-hour nonstop flight, I couldn't do it.
I don't think I'd be able to survive it either. But it takes that long to like fly to places and like fly out of Australia. So you got to have more than 1 week.
Yep.
You have to have more than 1 week in order to explore things. But vacation time here is so good that even children have very good vacation time. Like within the school year.
Where are they going?
I don't know. Listen, I don't know where they're going.
Bluey concert.
Bluey.
Bluey on tour. And then the Wiggles.
Oh my gosh, fruit salad, yummy, yummy. Shout out to the Wiggles if y'all listening to me.
Oh, actually, that is a big culture shock. The way that the Wiggles, like, adults are still fast, like, eating up the Wiggles. Like,
love it.
I only heard of the Wiggles when, like, fruit salad went viral in, like, what was that, 2009, 2010 for us?
Fruit salad, yummy, yummy.
But I went to a festival with some of my friends, and the OG
I know
Wiggles,
they're not there.
They were there.
I know they weren't at the festival.
Oh, I can assure you they were at the festival. And some people, they were the most excited to see the OG Wiggles. I was there with some of my friends, and like I was sitting there with Mike, another American friend of ours, and we were just like sitting in the grass waiting for like artists that we know, because Lil Nas X was also in the same day lineup. Lil Nas X was the closer for that day, but the OG Wiggles were going, and they were adults, grown ass, big old age adults.
Oh.
Chugga chugga in the big red, I kid you not, and they were screaming and they were loving it, and I was just like, it was giving cold.
Not the Wiggles are the Beyonce.
It genuinely was giving cold, and I'm like, is this what Destiny's Child was feeling?
What?
And like
that is so...
Everyone thinks the purple one's hot, so I imagine he's going to get a solo career sometime soon.
Oh my gosh, sometime soon.
Purple Wiggle, shout out. I know you're not listening, but I love you.
Purple Wiggle, the Piggle. Shout out. Okay, never mind.
Oh.
But, yeah. The Piggle. All right, I don't know. But even kids, they only have to go to school. I think it's like they get a 2-week break.
Oh, school holidays. Oh,
school holidays. They get a 2-week break every few months.
Yep.
Regardless. Because I'm like, what are all these children doing out running around? And they're like, oh, it's school holidays. And I'm like, what holiday is it? Yeah. I don't have a calendar. There isn't a particular holiday that's taken place, but it's just the fact that they're like, no. Like, because the school year runs from January to December, they let kids have more vacation time in the middle of the year, which is...
I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I would have loved that.
I would have loved that.
Because that whole summer break, spring break.
Only having 12 weeks.
And winter break being like 3 days. It was just like, that was trash. Like,
totally.
I had to learn about school holidays because I have friends who have kids here. And also, like, my coworkers like, hey, my child is doing this now. And it's like, school holidays, so the kids are at home. And they sound so upset. It's like, the kids are home.
Yeah, I know.
And I felt bad for them, but I also feel bad for retail workers because I've been on the other, because one of my mini jobs of working here, I ended up working at Legoland. So school holidays were when you made the big money because we had to stay open later and the kids were just there nonstop and they needed to put more of us on because it's like so-and-so tried to eat the whole Lego. The little Lego, but also they are massive Lego pieces. So it's like the kind of things that would get stuck and be like those x-rays. And like, how did you stick this up your, never mind. Anyway, again, no children. That doesn't make it stop.
Thank you. Hold your applause.
Like you said that after the applause had already been held. The power she commands.
I have the power.
Should we take a little break and then hold that the first part of part one and then just record a second part?
Yeah, that's cute. Let's do it. And now, a message from our sponsors.
better not bring your kids. I don't know what it's supposed to say there.
No, we have to stop shouting out that terrible, horrible, transphobic man.
Well, all we got to do is delete it. I mean, we kept it the first time already, so now we're stuck.
We did.
But considering there's obviously so many things to talk about culture shock-wise, we're going to give it a break here because we're trying not to overwhelm people. We'll give nice little tidbits of things.
Totally.
But we're going to take a little break, and we will get back to you very shortly. Why did it sound like I was leaving a voicemail?
I know.
Hi, guys. It's Nicole.
Hey, guys. This is Nicole. I am not at the phone right now, but if you could leave your number and a brief message, I'll get back to you. Okay, bye.
I don't think anyone leaves voice messages anymore. It's like, they'll just call you back later. I'm
That's
like,
a threat.
Just text me.
Yeah, seriously.
Why did you call in the first place?
Or send the voice message.
Yes.
That's it.
It's like, hey, girl, I was doing this thing. Reply when you can. Boop. Cool. Done.
Literally.
But no, we're going to take a little break, and we'll come back to you with part 2 of Culture Shock.
I'll miss you.
I won't.
This has been Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast that analyzes the Australian lifestyle from the lens of 2 Black American besties. Follow us at Melanated in Melbourne on Instagram and TikTok. If you have any comments or questions you'd like to ask us, then email us at melanatedinmelbourne@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.